You know, some places are defined by these grand, flashy titles, and others, well, they're defined by the journey it takes just to get there. Today, we're exploring a place that really demands effort, not just from us over the course of a single tough day, but from the planet itself over millions and millions of years. This is the story of Gulf Hagas, and it's all about an earned vista.
Okay, so you'll often hear Gulf Hagas called the Grand Canyon of Maine. And look, I get it. It hints at the scale of the place. But honestly, that nickname just scratches the surface. This place isn't just a smaller version of something else. It's its own, unique landscape with a story all its own. And it asks something of everyone who comes to visit. And that whole idea is captured perfectly by a quote you'll find right near the trailhead. It just completely sets the tone for the entire experience. It's not a destination you're supposed to conquer. It's a wild place that invites us to become its stewards, to protect it. And that journey of appreciation, it starts with the land itself. To really truly appreciate Gulf Hagas, we have to understand the two journeys that define it. The first one is this immense, slow, and unbelievably powerful journey of the Earth itself. So the story starts hundreds of millions of years ago, way back in the Devonian period. All it was simple mud settling at the bottom of a sea. But then came this incredible tectonic force, just squeezing and compressing that mud, folding the rock layers until they stood almost completely vertical. Then, much later, massive glaciers came through and scraped the whole landscape clean. And as they melted, about 10,000 years ago, the Pleasant River found its new path and began this patient, relentless work of carving through that ancient folded stone. And what's so cool is that you can see this history written right into the trail. I mean, you're not just walking on rock, you're walking on the upturned edges of ancient seabeds. These layers that were once flat on the ocean floor are now tilted right on their side. It's a tangible clue to the immense power that shaped this entire landscape. This geology is also the secret ingredient behind all the waterfalls here. Because the rock layers are tilted just slightly downstream, the water flows over them kind of like a natural staircase. The river has a hard time cutting underneath the rock, so instead, it just creates this whole series of beautiful cascades, a direct link between deep geological time and the beauty we get to see today. So, the planet did its work over eons. Now let's talk about the second journey, the one a hiker has to take to see it all, and the effort it requires. This is the price of admission. You know, before you even take a single step, the journey really begins with the map. Just looking at these contour lines, you get a real sense of the remoteness, the ruggedness of it all. This isn't some simple park trail. Looking at this map is making a commitment to a serious hike in a very wild part of Maine. The full rim trail loop clocks in at just under 9 miles. Now, that's a pretty significant distance on its own, but trust me, the mileage does not tell the whole story here. Let me be perfectly clear about this. This is not a casual stroll in the woods. Experiencing the rewards of Gulf Hagas, it requires preparation, it requires stamina, and it requires a really deep respect for the terrain. The challenges start almost immediately. The first major test is fording the Pleasant River. Now, depending on the time of year and how much rain there's been, this crossing can be anything from a simple ankle-deep wade to a powerful waist-high current. It's kind of like the river's way of asking, are you sure you're ready for what's next? And once you're across, the trail itself demands your full attention. It's a constant negotiation with exposed roots, slippery rocks, and these steep sections that are honestly more of a scramble than a walk. Every single step out here is earned. But here's the thing about great effort. It comes with great reward. After you've dealt with the river and that rugged trail, you start to see exactly why you came. You start to witness the stunning results of that 10,000-year-long conversation between the river and the rock. One of the first major payoffs is Screw Auger Falls. Right here, the water just plunges 25 feet into this deep pool it has painstakingly carved out of the slate. It's just a mesmerizing display of water's incredible persistence. A bit further on, you come across a spot called the Jaws. I mean, the name says it all, right? This is where the gorge narrows so dramatically the rock walls nearly touch. It's a perfect example of the river finding one tiny little weakness in that ancient, folded bedrock and just hammering away at it for millennia. And the rewards just keep on coming. You'll see the churning white water of Buttermilk Falls and the beautiful tiered cascades of Billings Falls.
Each waterfall along the rim has its own unique character, its own voice, but they're all part of that same epic story of erosion. And then, finally, you reach the head of the Gulf. After all the roaring falls and the challenging trail, this spot just feels serene. It's a place of wide open pools and jagged rocks, and it's the perfect spot for some quiet reflection on the journey you've just taken.
And that reflection, that's really what this entire experience is about. It's where those two journeys, the planet's and your own, finally come together and make sense.
Think about it. The planet put in the work over hundreds of millions of years. And to truly appreciate that work, you have to put in your own work over one long, tough day. There's this beautiful symmetry there, right? That shared effort connects you to the place in a way that just pulling over at a scenic overlook never, ever could. The view is spectacular, there's no doubt about it. But it's not the ultimate prize. The real reward is the understanding that comes with the effort, an appreciation for the deep time that created the gorge, and for the personal strength it took you to reach it. It really leaves you with a question that goes way beyond the trail. In a world of instant gratification, a place like this reminds us that the most meaningful experiences, they're often the ones we really have to work for. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What rewards have you earned?